Today I'd like to talk about modern age slavery. You know, a lot of people are still slaves. It's just that they think they are not because they don't have them chains and stuff like that. Some people actually think that for you to be a slave, it has to look like the way it used to years ago. But there's something called the modern day slavery. And most of you are actually enslaving yourselves without you knowing. Today I'm going to be mentioning a few ways in which you might be making yourself a slave, and a few things maybe you can watch out for. Stay with me. One of the things that drag people into this modern day slavery is ownership illusion. Okay, it can look like you paying installments for something. You don't own it. You get to own it the moment you finish paying. Okay, something like a phone or a TV screen or even a car. Problem is, you become a slave when the owner, actually the carrier, locks this thing. If it's a car, you only use it with a tracker, so that if you don't finish paying, they can always track you and take back whatever it is that they have. Or if it's a phone or whatever, they lock it down. Okay, so you live with the illusion that you own whatever it is that you have, when in reality you don't. And problem is, these things, may it be a car, a phone, whatever, as much as it's being tracked by the carrier or the owner, you're also paying interest on top. And most of the time this interest is a lot. We are not talking about chicken change. Okay, so let's say maybe a phone that is 10,000 Kenya shillings, you might end up paying a total of 15,000 Kenya shillings, and the 5,000 on top is just interest. That's slavery. Okay, that's you giving out that extra 5,000 Kenya shillings for what? So these are things you don't truly own until the end, until you finish paying. Another way of modern day slavery is this thing, debt bondage. Okay, in some countries they have the credit cards. Okay, in Kenya very few people would. I don't even know of someone who uses a credit card. Okay, here we use debit cards, but now we have digital loan apps here. Okay, so it's almost the same as, ownership illusion, because this can also look like you getting that TV screen, okay, or that car, with debt, money that you don't have. Then you work extra hours or extra months just to pay the interest that is accumulated. So this is to say, you're working for the bank or for these business people. Your salary goes to the bank, not you. You're a slave to them. Another modern day slavery is low wage labor. We've all seen it. Okay? Actually, no company, or there's no way, people don't want to pay you well properly. Products are becoming so cheap because workers are underpaid. And I can give an example of maybe t-shirts that are made in India or those places. And if you're told how much money these people are paid, peanuts. So what do you expect the kind of t-shirt you'll get from them? Of course, not at the perfect quality. No, because for them now, it's about numbers. Yeah? Quantity over quality. Low wage labor. You find someone working 16 hours in a day. Yeah? Pure slavery. Modern age slavery. Okay? Let's talk about planned obsolescence. The products that they keep producing very poor quality. They break so fast so that you can go back and buy them again. That's slavery. Okay? Because you'll always be in this cycle. You can never leave that cycle. Go buy yourself something like a printer, yeah, or an air fryer, and then after 2 years it's no longer working. Planned obsolescence. So what does that mean? After 2 years you go back to the shop to buy a new one, and this is because the manufacturer planned it that way. Okay, they are doing this to make us the slaves, or you, whoever is buying that item. That's modern day slavery. Whether you like it or not, you're forced to spend again. If not, then you just have to dig deeper into your pockets and buy a good quality, product. But at the rate in which things are going nowadays, the market is just full of those fake, low quality products. And it's not at the unplanned. People are doing these things consciously. They know what they're doing. Okay? So slavery it's still slavery. It's just changed. The way we change with time, slavery also changes. It's not gone anywhere. It's still around. Now, let's talk about environmental slavery. You pay from your pockets to clean up waste that is created by companies. How is that not slavery? For example, that plastic covering from that order, that thing you ordered online. See, it was packaged properly with some sort of plastic covering or whatever. Yeah? Most of the time, if you just dispose it, it ends up in the ocean. And then after that, what do you think happens? You end up paying taxes for cleanup or to buy bottled water. Pure slavery. And all of that there's a psychological trap around it, because nowadays they're selling you the illusion, or their ads nowadays are created in a way, or they're made in a way they make you feel like you need that commodity, that item. They make it look like you need these things for you to be happy. Just consumerism. That's exactly what it is. Modern day slavery. Yeah. So the more you buy stuff, the more you become a slave. Okay. The more cars you have, one way or another, you're becoming a slave. The more, consumerism and slavery is just the same. Okay? And I say it's a psychological trap because that's why nowadays you see, people you admire, maybe on social media, on TV, whatever. Okay? These influencers showing off something like a new car or a new bag. Yeah? Just something new that they got. And then now because you want to look like them or you want to be like them, you do whatever it takes to get that item. So that means you work overtime. You become a slave so that you're able to buy it or to pay for this thing. In the back of your mind, you believe this thing will bring you something like status or something. Yeah. Sad but true. It also causes time poverty. You're just poor when it comes to time because you'll never have time. You're always busy working to pay off these debts. You're working to pay off that car. You don't have time to rest. When it comes to time, you're just poor. You have no freedom of time. When smart people are working towards, creating more time, you're doing the opposite. You're poor in terms of time because you're willing to work long hours just to buy more stuff. For example, you'll see someone having 2 jobs so that they can be able to afford a car and rent, and this rent is because they want to live in a certain posh area. So you're willing to break your back just because of that. At the end of the day, you have no time for your family, you have no time for friends, and you have no time for other things other than your job. You have no time for yourself, but you can't stop working. Consumerism as modern day slavery. A lot of people are victims. Okay, a lot of people are slaves. It's just that because they think they are walking freely, ama there's no mzungu following them around with a whip, they think they are not, but they still are. Nowadays you've seen they have this debt, buy now pay later, the debt trap. They call it hire purchase. Funny things, when these things happen, they sort of conform it, twist it, and give it a very nice name, something that looks like formal business, and then you fall for it, and it's still slavery because they've captured you mentally, physically. Yeah, you think at the end of the day you're going home, but you're still their slave until you finish paying them. You're their hostage. It's just that you go eat at home, you dress the way you want, but cross them, and if you're not lucky, you find yourself in jail. There's so many hire purchase shops, even in town. They tell you get a sofa, a very nice clean sofa, a very nice bed, in town. For example, a bed costing, let's say, something like 60,000 Kenya shillings. And then after interest, you're paying something like 80,000 Kenya shillings or 90K because of interest. So you've made a clean 20 to 30,000 Kenya shillings for these people. You're their slave. You're making money for them. And then you pay weekly for a whole year. A whole year. You're working for those people. And then if you miss a payment, they repossess it. Try and skip a payment and see. Talk to people who have stuff that has ever been repossessed. You miss a payment, they take their stuff back, and you lose your money. The money that you had paid earlier. You're a slave. You end up losing everything. Same as this mobile app loan payments. Loan whatever. Is it mobile app with high payments, interest payments? They'll give you small loans fast. Within a few minutes. How much do you want? There. But the moment you've taken these loans, you've become their slave. Now you're working for them. Because now this money you've borrowed, you have to return with interest. The interest is what makes you their slave. They don't care where you'll find it. Just make sure you pay it. You borrow something like 1,000 Kenya shillings, you pay it back 1,300 Kenya shillings. The 300 on top is the interest. After 30 days. Just 30 days. That's very high interest. And then you'll find someone who's borrowing to buy clothes, to buy things like airtime. When I was addicted to TikTok, I used to take those Okoa loans just to get data. I was a slave, but I broke those chains. Because me, there's things, there's certain age you get to, and you cannot afford to do stupid. Okay. Because you become a slave, you start borrowing this loan, you buy nonsense stuff, and then you go make money to pay this loan and then take another loan. So you find yourself in this cycle. At the end of the year, you sit down and do the math. That's when you'll realize, enyewe, you're a beautiful slave. You're a very modern slave who thinks they live in a very nice place, driving a very nice car. but at the end of the day, you're just a slave. A modern one. That's how people get trapped in cycles. Another modern day form of slavery is buying these cheap mitumba clothes. I'm not bashing people's businesses. I'm just creating awareness. And that's why you find your children, they want to create their own businesses. They want to go study fashion and design. And you as a parent, you actually pay their fees for them to go and study these things. Without looking the hidden costs, we are the number one people still buying the mitumba stuff. I don't dispute mitumba clothes or mitumba stuff is affordable, because it's not just clothes. There's also kitchenware, there's bicycles, all those things are mitumba. Okay? I don't dispute that they're cheap and you can find yourself something nice. I'm not disputing that. But fact remains, it destroys local businesses. Okay? If it's that mitumba, it destroys local textile industries. Okay? So that daughter or son of yours who's trying to study fashion and design will struggle. Okay? When they start their businesses or they're employed, that industry will struggle. For example, a tailor in, let's say, Gikomba or even Toy Market, they are not able to sell new clothes. And this is because everyone around them is selling jeans for 100 bob, 200 bob. You have a blazer. How are they supposed to survive? It's just slaverism. We are forced to live like in the olden days. We cannot, it's like we are still struggling to be our own masters. Someone else is your master, whether you choose to see it or not. So what happens at the end of the day, or at the end of, after some time? That tailor, that fashion designer ends up being jobless. They'll shut down. They'll shut down, but we'll keep importing bills of used clothes, old clothes. They're the ones we would prefer. They're the ones people go for. Cheap. So our own children end up, shutting down their businesses. You took your child, or you yourself learned fashion, design, whatever. You're a tailor. A very good one at that. But now, your business cannot stand on its own. You shut down. And then you end up also going for those mitumba clothes. You wear those mitumba clothes as a fashion designer. How are you not a slave? How are you not a slave? And you'll find others, when it's mitumba camera, you can't even afford it. That's pure slavery. Now, let's talk about the pressure to look modern. The social status. You want to look cool. In estates, social media, as I mentioned earlier, you must drive a nice car to fit in. You must wear expensive clothes to fit in. For example, just a common person in Nairobi wearing or buying very expensive sneakers worth 15,000 Kenyan shillings, as I said, on credit, just to have a picture to post on Instagram. And then when they go back home, they eat cheap maize flour, ugali only, and some greens, because maybe they can't even afford meat for a whole 2 months, so that they can be able to pay the debt for these shoes. All that is just modern slavery. Anything just being marketed to you. Nowadays, I tend to look at everything as just slavery. You find people working in malls, whatever, selling very expensive perfumes or phones Yet they are earning something like 15K, 15,000 a month. But they're selling items worth 50K, 80K daily. The low wages I was talking about. The irony of not affording what it is that you're selling. How is that not slavery? Imagine you're selling a TV worth almost $500,000, yet your salary is 30,000. The irony behind that. And to make it worse, those customers look down on you while you're me, slavery. It's still around us, even if we choose not to see it. To make it worse, farmers nowadays, they are abandoning their lands. They are abandoning farming. Nobody wants to farm anymore. Okay? So someone will sell their land just to buy consumer goods. You find someone has a piece of land somewhere, they sell it just to buy a very nice car and a huge screen TV. People stop growing food to chase cash just for them to buy consumer items. A good example is maybe, let's say, a farmer in Kiambu or in Nyeri selling their piece of land just to buy a used car and a smart TV. And then after that, what happens? Now they go back to buy goods, vegetables from the market. And then they become one of the people who run out of money before end of the month. Pure slavery. But who are we? We refuse to see that. Nobody will agree. Nobody wants to admit that their car makes them a slave. Nobody wants to admit that their apartment they're living in makes them a slave. Nobody wants to admit that the shoes that they're wearing makes them a slave. Nobody wants to admit the phone they're using makes them a slave. Take a look around at everything that is surrounding you, how you're surviving. Those things that you think you own, do you really own them or they own you? Do the owners of those things own you? And that's the danger of consumerism. If there's something I hate, it's adverts. Okay? Ads. Okay, there's ads that make sense. Okay? But some, they just don't make sense. Okay. Nowadays, people won't allow you to have money in your pockets. Some time back, the people who would enslave us would be people of different color. Okay? But nowadays, people who are enslaving you, people from, even if you're not careful, if you're just dumb enough, anyone can be your master and you can be the slave. It just depends how smart you are. If you're foolish, you'll be working for banks, for people, for companies, for everyone. Your work will be just working your ass off. You will never have time because you're paying off. You always owe someone. And I feel sorry if you're that type of person, because you'll die a very miserable life. You'll never enjoy life. You'll never have a moment to enjoy life because you don't appreciate the small things. Yeah? I hope you're not the kind of person who thinks minimalism is being poor. No, being a minimalist, it means appreciating what it is that you have. Okay? You don't have to go for the high-end stuff, especially one that you cannot afford. Leave it alone. If you can afford a car, a second-hand car worth $500,000, go for it. Stop breaking your bank to get a car that is worth $3 million. You cannot. The moment you've taken debt to get that car, it means you can't afford it. The moment you take debt to acquire something that is not improving your business, it means you cannot afford it. And that's why people say, if you can't buy your car twice, is it twice or 3 times? Leave it. It means you can't afford it. Okay? But people still don't understand. So we have a lot of slaves moving around. They are well dressed, living in very nice places, driving very nice cars, but at the end of the day, they're just slaves. You can't even sleep peacefully at night. You cannot even skip one day from work because you know the price you'll pay. What kind of life is that? Don't fall into the trap of consumerism, because all those things I've mentioned is just consumerism. Selling land to buy a used car, that's consumerism. And a TV. Taking a lipampole phone or TV, whatever it is that you're not able to pay upfront, like full amount, it means you can't afford it. Why don't you just accept yourself? Accept, this is who I am. If you can afford a small car, so be it. Don't be the type of person who, now because of social media and peer pressure, I cannot drive a small car anymore. In my circle, everyone is driving a big car except me. So now, I will kill myself to go get a bigger car. You are making yourself a slave. Nowadays, masters don't even have to do much. They just need to sit there and just be smart. And then you, with your 2 left legs, you take yourself to... Gay! You go and take those chains and tie yourself. Right? And you think that's cool. Imagine there's nothing cool about that. And that's why you see a lot of people nowadays are depressed. Mentally, they are not okay. Everyone is just crying. And this is because we are out here biting more than we can chew. Why? You're getting that car. Unachukua gari, a very nice car. You've not paid for it. And then now you can't sleep. Every night you have heart palpitations. Your heart is beating from here. You're avoiding people because the kind of debt you have. Because you know if you skip a payment, what will happen? We need to be very careful, people. Don't take yourself into these things. Even the difference between slavery ya kitambo na slavery ya saa is, the olden day kind of slavery was being forced down your throat. Okay? But nowadays, apparently, most people just make these choices to be slaves. Because the moment you feel like, your ego is the one that is leading you, your pride, you have to be seen looking a certain type of way. And you know very well you can't afford it. That's you. Walking in, you see this is a trap and you've enslaved yourself. People are slaves out here. Very good looking slaves. Smart, smelling, very nice. But they're just slaves. Problem is, you meet someone, they're a slave, you don't know. You get married to this person. You imagine the kind of problems they'll... What? And that's why nowadays, even if you're dating, you have to ask someone, what kind of debt, how much do you owe, and who do you owe? Because, it's not a joke. People can drag you down with them if you're not careful. And nowadays, nobody wants to suffer alone. If I'm going down, I want to go down with you. That's the problem. Life nowadays. And people faking it. As much as they say fake it till you make it, the extremes, people are faking it too much. At very horrible extremes. And that's why people are just crying all over the place. Things are just going wrong. One moment, we're looking at you, you're fine. You're living in a very nice place, area, posh estate, gated estates, driving nice cars. And then something happens once, and then we don't know what happened. Huh? Kumbe is these things you've been doing. Pole pole too, they keep accumulating. And then finally something happens. You are driving a very nice Mercedes-Benz. It has been repossessed. You had done what? You have been repossessed back to zero. And because now you're into this cycle, you owe somebody else. So you take a loan, you pay here, you take, and then you end up dying like that. How will you ever even enjoy life? A lot of people are in that cycle. Consumerism. Be careful. Be careful. Anyway, wakusikia atasikia, wakulenga ni sawa. At the end of the day, the decision is yours to make. We don't force people here. Okay? You just need to shine your eye. Don't fall. Pray for these things, bana. No. As I said, nowadays the master is not the mzungu. Your master can be someone just like me. Okay? Yeah. Nowadays, people are making money sitting in their houses, and other people are making money for them. Okay? Yeah. It has become so easy. I just need to go sit down. I build an app. I become a lender. Okay? All I need is, you borrow money from me. I just expect you to pay it with an interest on top. So you choose. Are you the master or are you the slave? But don't think that because we're in 2026, there's no slavery nowadays. Okay? And that's why no matter how much you try, no matter how many nice cars are on the roads you had, very few of them, the owners have the logbooks. Majority of them are just flaunting something that doesn't belong to them. Okay? At the end of the day, you see the scale does not balance. It's still not balancing. The wealthier are still wealthy. The poor are still poor. Okay? And the people who suffer the most are the middle. Because they are the ones who are trying to do whatever it takes to look like the wealthy. And they are not wealthy. Do you know the number one group of people are the middle incomers? Not the poor people. You can make a lot of money selling stuff to these people who are trying to look rich. Because they're willing to go whatever extremes to look like they've made it, and they've not made it. So if you go into a business of debt, giving people credit, you're going to make money. Okay? Whether it's higher purchase, whether it's whatever it is, you'll make money. Because these people have this hunger. I don't know why people are not content. And the beauty of this life is, let me speak in Kikuyu. Kuiganira. As long as you're not sleeping hungry, you're okay, And we can't all be the same. Imagine we can't all be billionaires. We can't all be millionaires. And as long as you're not a pauper, why are you killing yourself? Why are you doing extremes that are going to break you in the end? You're somewhere comfortable, and then you make a very stupid, dumb move, and then you end up being worse than how you were in the beginning. For what? Just because you can't control yourself. And these ads, these masters, they are becoming smarter by the day. The kind of adverts they keep producing, top notch. It's not stopping anytime soon. So it is for you as an individual to be smart enough to know this. No. You have to be very, very strict. You have to be very, very, let your no be no. Okay? If you decide I'm not doing something, so be it. Okay? And if you keep surrounding yourself with people who you feel every time for me to be around them, I'm feeling pressurized. I have to dress a certain type of way. I have to be driving a certain type of car. Maybe you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people. You need to surround yourself with people who accept you for who you are. Okay? Otherwise, this peer pressure, this whatever, it is not good for you at the end of the day. Remember, I always say, you cannot be making money. You cannot be waking up every day looking for money just to give it to other people. Come on. Huh? No, we have to style up. You cannot make money and all of your money is going at it to other people. What about you? What about you? Anyway, that's how consumerism is the same as this. There's no difference between consumerism and modern age slavery. So anywhere you see people talking about consumerism, they're talking to you about slavery. Okay? The way we've enslaved ourselves with material things. Okay? Yeah. So next time you see something being marketed, being advertised, think and think again. Well, that's it for me today. That's it for me to you today. I hope this helps someone make better choices. I'm Miss Moithathi, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.